Hey everyone, Wall Educator, Nieves Alvarez here. Today's haircut's going to be a mid-fade with a shape up. My tool of choice today is going to be the Wahl 5-Star Senior. This is a very high performance clipper, perfect to get the job done. I'm going to be using also the Wahl Hero trimmer so I can get some fine precision lines and some detailed lines in my haircut. And as always, I'm going to be disinfecting my tools with Wahl's Fast Action Disinfectant. So thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you when I'm done. The 5-Star Senior Clipper is designed for traditional on-scalp tapering and fading, precision fades, and clipper over comb work. The high-impact, durable aluminum metal bottom housing is constructed to withstand all the regular wear and tear in your salon or barber shop. Made in the USA, this tool has been rated one of the best barber clippers in the industry for its precision and high quality. So let me start off by disinfecting and oiling my clipper. I'll use Wahl Cliniclip, that's 2-minute fast acting disinfectant, and then I'll go ahead and use my Wahl clipper oil. I'll place 1 drop on each corner, 1 in the center, and then heel to heel, so 5 drops of oil. I'm going to start off picking through the hair, just kind of combing through it just to check for any scars, moles, to see the directional pattern that the hair is flowing in, just so I can get a better understanding of the canvas that I'm going to be working on. Now I'm going to start the fade. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my clipper to the open position, and I'm going to start creating a guideline. I'm going to work from one side of the temple, kind of slightly dropping towards the back of the head, and I'm going to work that around to the other side of the head. You're also going to want to make sure that your guide is consistent. That way you'll have an even blend as you start to work towards taking out the demarcation in your blend. You can utilize your mirror or take a step back just to make sure that the temple areas are even with each other. So now that I got my initial guide in, I'm going to go ahead and start to work below that guideline. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust my clipper to the in-between open and close position, and I'm going to work about a 1/2 inch below what I just did with the clipper open. Now I'm going to go ahead and adjust my clipper to the close position, and I'll blend that into what I just previously cut with the clipper adjusted to in between open and closed. So I went open, in between, and closed, and I'm just blending one right up into the other. Now I'm going to take the number 1 attachment comb and I'm going to adjust my clipper to the open position. I'm going to work from my initial guide. This time I'm going to work up an inch and I'm going to work that from one side of the head to the other. Now I'm going to adjust my clipper to the closed position with the number 1 attachment comb on it, and I'm going to start to work from my initial guide up a half inch now, working that up into what I previously cut with the open position and the number 1 attachment comb on it. As I work around the head, you may notice that there is some slight demarcation where I first put in my initial guide, and right now where I'm working with the number 1 attachment comb, I'm going to remove that demarcation with the half attachment comb. I'm going to go ahead and adjust my clipper to the closed position, and I'm going to work where I see that demarcation at. Now, as I work this around the head, I'm only working in the small areas, the small sections where I do see demarcation. So most of the time I'm only using the corner of the clipper blade, and I'm only using about like the first 4 teeth on the clipper. Okay, so now that I have that demarcation removed out of the haircut, I'm going to go ahead and continue to work my way up. I'm going to take the 1.5 attachment comb, and I'm going to adjust it to the open position, and I'm going to bring that up an inch now. Now I'm going to go ahead and adjust my clipper lever to the closed position with the 1.5 attachment comb, and I'm going to work that up now just a 1/2 inch. As I start to work that around the head, I do notice some slight demarcation once again. I'm going to take the number 1 attachment comb, and I'm going to adjust my clipper to the closed position. And just like I used with the 1/2 attachment comb, I'm going to just start to work out that demarcation using the corner of the blade. Now, one thing you want to do is you want to pay attention very closely to the growth pattern and the direction that the hair is actually flowing in. I am working against the natural growth at this point, so I'm going to work against the grain, against the natural growth, and I'm going to remove that line of demarcation. Up until this point, I've been cutting the hair against the grain, against the natural growth pattern. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my number 1.5 attachment comb and I'm going to adjust it to the open position. And I'm going to start to work now with the natural hair growth. So I'm going to work with the grain now. This is going to help me create a smooth transition in my blend and also prep me for when I start to work on the top portion of the shape up. Now I'm going to adjust my lever to the closed position with the 1.5 attachment comb on it, and I'm going to continue working with the grain. And I'm going to work right under where I left off with the 1.5 attachment comb, and I'm keeping in mind still the growth pattern. And you're going to see and watch that I'm actually maneuvering my clipper and adjusting it so that I am cutting with the natural growth pattern. So I'm actually going to start to come in from longer length and work my way down to the shorter length until I remove the line of demarcation that's in there. So like I said, I'm gonna just keep on transitioning down. So I'm starting off longer and I'm working my way down to the shorter length. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my number 1 attachment comb and I'm gonna adjust it to the open position, and I'm gonna continue working with the natural growth with the grain. Now I'm gonna transition down lower and I'm gonna adjust my clipper with the number 1 attachment comb to the closed position, and I'm gonna continue to work with the natural growth of the hair. Also keep in mind, the same as when I was cutting against the grain, even though I'm cutting with the natural growth, at times I'm only using the corner of the blade to smooth out the hair and to make my transition. So I'm only using like the first 4 teeth of the blade to get in those tight areas. I am going to put 3 design lines in this haircut, so I'm going to go ahead and section off where I'm going to put those design lines at, and I'm going to cut that down to the number 1 attachment comb in the closed position. Now I'm going to use my 5-star Hero trimmer. This has a T-blade on it, so it's going to help me get in those tight areas that I want to get into to create those design lines, and also to shape out the front of the hairline. So I will start off in the center of the forehead, and then I'll start working my way towards the corner of the hairline. Once I get to the corner, then I'll connect the sides, and then I'll come back and do the same on the other side of the hairline. So once I got one side in, then I'll go ahead and continue from the center of the hairline, and I'll work my way out towards the other corner of the hairline. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm keeping it consistent and consistently straight. So I'll utilize my mirror, or I'll take a step back. I'm going to start creating my design lines now. The Hero's perfect for this with the T-blade and it being small enough to fit in the palm of your hands. You could definitely maneuver in these tight areas. So I'm going to put 3 curved design lines now in the front part of this hairline. Now that I have my 3 design lines in, I'm going to go ahead and continue to work with my Hero trimmer, and I'm going to clean out the remaining portion of the hair at the bottom of the haircut. So this tool is strong enough to go through longer hair. The Hero has a great motor and a great cutting blade on it, so this will transition right up into where I left off with my 5-star senior in the closed position. Now I'm going to take my 5-star senior in the closed position, and I'm going to begin to work at the front of the hairline. So I'm going to shape up this freehand, and I'm going to make this in the front here so that it complements the 3 design lines that I put in. Then once I'm finished with that, I'll go ahead and start working on the top portion of the haircut. And what I do is I like to start off in the center and just kind of freehand shape over the center, and then I start to work towards the sides. So I establish the length that I want going straight down the center, and then I start to work towards the sides of the haircut. Once I have the top portion done, then I start to work on the sides and around the back. If you're interested in any of our wall tools, or you would like more information on our wall tools, just go ahead and visit wallpro.com. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm wall educator Nieves Alvarez. Thank you for watching.